Startle Stallion Power returns to Cambridge Stud for his second season. Marcus, what have you noticed about the way he's developed physically since you packed him off to Coolmore last year?
As you can see, the way he's paraded at the moment, he's let down into a more physically strong type of horse. Mentally, he's just a completely different horse. He knows Cambridge, he knows his paddock, and his whole demeanour's changed. So he's lovely, relaxed, and that's very typical of a shuttle horse coming back for the second time.
Well, as is the case with all these second season stallions, Marcus, there's considerable interest in Power's first crop of Southern Hemisphere foals. It's always exciting to see what you're going to get, so talk us through what you've got.
Look, everyone was just, you never know till you see the first 2 or 3 born, and as you see by the foals that we're going to show you later on today, we're very surprised. I was over in the Hunter Valley early in August, and there was one born there at Broadwater, which was a magnificent type, and then he's left them very typical of himself and typical of Oasis Dream, a lot of muscle, so they're going to be, real sprinter miler types, and good bone and a great attitude. So, we couldn't be more happy at this stage.
We're seeing a nice selection of some of his foals here today, and we'll start with the Power Octopussy filly. She's a month old and a beautifully balanced little filly.
Yeah, well, she's probably the pick of the group. She's a half to Pussy O'Reilly, who's Group 1 placed. This mare's left 2 other black type horses, but she's very typical of the family. She's strong, great walking type, and the boss is so impressed with it, and Peter Walker, that the mare is actually going to be going back to Power today. So for her to throw a type of horse like that it's going to be a great advert for the horse.
The next one we move to is the Power Wanaka colt, and he's about 10 days old.
Well, he's a great specimen for a 10-day-old foal. She, of course, is a dam of Tavern Veal, who's a Group 2, Group 3 winner by Zabeel and Group 1 placed. And it's a great family from Checkers and Zerner, of course, and it's owned by a good client. And this colt will be going to Karaka, and he's just a great type. And again, when you look at the mare and look at what Power's done to it, he's thrown a lot of muscle, and he's a real precocious colt.
The third in line we see today is the Power Dane Dancer colt. What a strong, imposing type he is.
Well, he's probably, she is a very well-bred mare, being a half-sister to Readout's Choice, and of course all those mares that made the great money at Magic Millions. It's a superb pedigree, and he's probably the pick of her foal. She's been to Zabeel, she's been to O'Reilly, and she really hasn't left that sort of special horse, but we're very, very happy. And he's another colt that'll be in the Premier Session, and he'll give Power a real boost in the marketplace.
Power was a precocious racehorse. As a 2-year-old, he clocked 4 wins in 2 seconds from 6 starts, winning the Group 1 Carrara National Stakes, and then he trained on to win the Irish 2000 Guineas Group 1 at 3. With that track record, would you expect his foals to be early runners?
Well, I think very much so, and it's very exciting to see what's happening at Haunui with showcasing. And he's had a great start in the Northern Hemisphere, and in the early trials there's good word about showcasing. So again, that stands good stead for Power, and with the class of mare that Power's had, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't have those early 2-year-old types and get up to a mile, and if they can train on like he did, and like most Oasis Dreams, we look to probably have a very typically sprinter miler type of horse, which is what we've actually wanted to get over our sort of Dow New Zealand mares, and the rest will be hopefully exciting.
You've alluded to it already. I mean, his is a pedigree with an intriguing mix of speed and stamina in there as well. With him crossing with our New Zealand mares, what are you hoping he'll inject them with? Well,
hopefully, as you can see by his foals, they're going to have muscle and speed, so that's the most important thing. And he's a great selector of stallions, and he's waited for a son of Oasis Dream. And the future does look very exciting for him.
He had a good book last year, Marcus, but how well patronised will he be this time off the back of the progeny we've seen?
He's got enough that are going to be foaling, and with the numbers to give him a very good start, and that's all you can ask for in the current sort of breeding climate.
With reference to that service fee, there's been a bit of a drop this season from $12,000 to $9,000 for Power. It is well known, I mean, Cambridge Stud, you like to set your stallion fees at a competitive level, but why the drop?
On all the stallions, it took Patrick about 3 or 4 weeks to sit down. He's done all the sale results, and he wanted to give the breeders a return on their investment. And to look at what we're standing this year, it's worked. Cape Blanco's all but full, Tavistock's all but full. This horse has got good numbers, so is Burgundy, and so is Keeper. So his price strategy is being very well met in the market, and of course with people not having to pay the next year, it's given the everyday people a chance to get a return on their dollar, and that's something that, you know, as we go forward, we never know where the next good stallion's coming from, and its numbers and the good studs that can supply the commercial mares to give them a start. So it has worked, and as I said, this season has shocked us because we thought we were going to be quiet, and it's been very, very busy.